Hello people, my name is Socool4 Gaming, aka Ollie, and I do reviews sometime. It's been a while. I think a while, it's been a couple of months. I was feeling nostalgic for some old cartoons from my childhood. So this video is basically a collection of cartoons that sort of made an impact to me. I found them, the writing was very good, the art style was very good, I say good a lot. And basically, what connected to me, what I found enjoyable, and what I rewatched some episodes of. And this is just my opinions. Some I will miss out because I haven't watched them, or I can't remember not a lot about them. So this is just my opinion. I might do sequel to this because covering even more Cartoon Network cartoons. But eventually, I think I'll do other mediums like Polish ones, British ones, and some other ones. So yeah. Anyway, this video is going to be structured by each cartoon, so basically you'll see me say on to the next show, then it will cut to the introduction to the show, then me talking about it, so yeah. However, there'll be less context, quote unquote less context, but basically just me talking about who made it, when it aired, and that's basically it. And talk about the rough plot and rough characters, and basically my thoughts on the things. But most of these cartoons will possibly have a retrospective or review on them because they meant a lot to me. So yeah, and that will be the future. So yeah, let's begin. First is Regular Show. Regular Show was created by J.G. Quintel, which ran from 2010 to 2017, with a unique cast of characters of Mordecai, which is a blue jay, and Rigby, a raccoon, working in a park over their boss Benson, a gumball machine, also causing a problem in their daily life due to their irresponsibility. The episodes are somewhat regular, where the relationships feel real, but the plot for each episode is random, where it begins normal and turns a dramatic shift. It has like an early 2000s to 2010 humor, and such a legendary show which ended in 2017 with the Regular Show movie, where J.T. Quintel went on to make Close Enough, which I actually did watch. I think I watched the first season. I don't know if there's a second season, but I watched the first one. Where it becomes more real and more focusing on millennial life in this day and age. Like people grew up in the 80s or 90s, then grew up in like the 2000s, experiencing hardships and stuff. I feel it's more grounded than a Regular Show, but obviously it still has relationships and grounded elements from time to time. Where I was like, even more grounded than a Regular Show with his wacky cast of characters and the characters' arcs that Quintel can do is amazing. Basically, Mordecai, Rigby, and some Skips, Muscle Man, Pops, Benson. They all have character arcs. They build up their backstories, and also they sort of show evolving relationships between Mordecai and his girlfriend. Same for Rigby and his girlfriend. Basically, building relationships, but culminating into a random mess of stuff. And it still holds up to this day because I've been rewatching some of the episodes, and they're actually very good. From 2010 to 2017, this was like when I'm gonna say the sort of like I'm gonna mention this in the next show, but I'm gonna mention like this Cartoon Network Renaissance. Make sure to check it out. Check it out. On to the next show.
Adventure time! Come on, grab your friends. We'll go to very distant lands. We'll take the dog and then the human. The fun will never end. It's adventure time.
Next is Adventure Time. Adventure Time was created by Pendleton Ward and aired from 2010 to 2018. It lasted one more year than Regular Show. It has the two main characters, Finn the human, where his mystery of origin is expanded in future seasons and media about like his past and why is he in this land, and Jake the dog, his companion, that can that can shapeshift to help Finn. They help an adventure land of Ooh, which is, it feels basic and like a normal show, with Finn and Jake going on adventures, but crafting well-written characters like the Ice King having great depth, and also Marceline, the vampire, expanded as well, which one of my favourite episodes, and I remember them to this day. Also, the expansion of the world of that land of Ooh, with the best antagonist, which is the Lich King, challenging Finn and Jake by improving his character arcs and leaving the ending to a satisfying conclusion. It has one of the most iconic theme songs in television. If you know it, you know it. So yeah, on to the next show.
Mama had a chicken. Mama had a cow. Dad was proud. He didn't care how.
Next is Cow and Chicken. Cow and Chicken was created by David Fiss and aired in 1997 to 1999. Where Mama had a chicken, Mama had a cow, Dad was proud, he didn't care how. That's such a butchering of that line. Where the characters of Cow and Chicken are a human society due to no one questioning why is I talking cow and chicken. Chicken has some friends called Flem and Earl, and Cow is just Cow. That's gonna be a recurring joke. Where Chicken gets in trouble while Cow does comedy, and there is a devil that becomes antagonist in late episodes towards Cow and Chicken. FYI, the voices are unbearably annoying. It was hard to watch with the voice of Cow, and Chicken hasn't aged that well. I don't really know why, but it's so annoying. If you watch clips, I'm gonna play a clip right now.
Hey, I know you hate being ugly, but somebody has to make everyone else look good.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
Those voices are so annoying. I don't know why. If anyone feels the same annoyance as I do, I remember watching this from every now and again because the episodes are very short, between 6 to 10 minutes. They're not that long. Most Cartoon Network shows, apart from I think the big ones, were less than 10 minutes or around 10 minutes. So on to the next show.
We interrupt this program to bring you Courage the Cowardly Dog Show, starring Courage the Cowardly Dog. Abandoned as a pup, he was...
Next is Courage the Cowardly Dog. Courage the Cowardly Dog was created by John R. Dilworth, aired from 1999 to 2002. It's a horror comedy due to some of the scenes being scary, where Courage the dog, with his owners Murray and Eustace Baggs, in the middle of nowhere, where creepy, mysterious things happen when Courage gets easily scared and has to save his owners from the creepy things that happen to them. Where Murray is nice to Courage, while Eustace tries to scare him as much as possible, being basically dick to him. The animation is actually very good. It has aged very, very well on how Courage reacts to certain things of being scared, and the unique circumstances they find themselves in. And such a good show, and great ways to portray the supernatural, the scary things, the other stuff. And the score is actually the score sort of has a menacing or mysterious tone to the events. So yeah, that's very for Courage. Obviously, I would recommend watching these shows. Some of these shows, because some of these are annoying. Cow and Chicken I wouldn't recommend now because the voices are annoying. So yeah, on to the next show.
Sugar, spice, and everything nice. These were the ingredients chosen to create the perfect little girl. But Professor Utonium accidentally added an extra ingredient to the concoction, Chemical X. Thus, the Powerpuffgirls were born! Using their ultra superpowers, Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup have dedicated their lives to fighting crime and the forces of evil!
Next is the Powerpuff Girls. The Powerpuff Girls was created by Craig McCracken from 1998 to 2005, where Professor Utonium accidentally created 3 girls called Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup. Blossom in pink, Bubbles in blue, and Buttercup in green. I don't know why we couldn't rhyme it, or like use the plosive sounds. This is just English talk, where they fight crime with their superpowers to fight forces of evil in the city of Townsville. And that's a good pun. It's called Townsville, but it's a city, bro. With the notable villains of Mojo Jojo and the Princess Morbucks and many more. Those are like main ones, like recurring. There are other villains that are recurring, but they're just like one shots or like cameos. Well, the voice acting is so good for the voice of the Powerpuff Girls and Mojo Jojo. The voice of Bubbles, if you don't know, is Tara Strong, which voiced most of your characters from childhood. She voiced, I think, Ben 10. Yeah, she voiced Ben 10. Ben 10, Bubbles. I think she voiced in Batman Animated Series, other projects, but you might know her voice. The music is good as well. Being somewhat aware of being a show because of the use of the narrator. Most childhood shows or cartoon shows might have a narrator, basically narrator, telling you, oh yeah, this is the event. It's a similar thing to a Danger Mouse, where the narrator breaks the fourth wall sometimes. I'm talking about the new Danger Mouse, not the 60s one, if you're not confused. It's actually a good show, and it sort of has a stigma because I'm a male. You can tell by my voice. I'm a male. Shucks, I know. I'm a male, so I don't remember ever watching this. My parents kept telling me, you watch Powerpuff Girls, so I believed them. And it's a good show. I don't mind it. Like, it's a good show. Like, is it a girly show? Might be. I actually don't know. Sorry, my voice just pitched up. But it's a good show. I hate the stigma like, oh yeah, Powerpuff Girls is for girls and not for boys. But I think boys also watched it because it's a good show. It is well written. Like, most people will obviously, watch it. So yeah, I've been rambling a long time for Powerpuff Girls. I don't know why. Obviously, this will be a full-length review. So yeah, on to the next show. Next is Ed, Ed, and Eddie. Ed, Ed, and Eddie was created by Danny. I told you some of these last names are very hard. Antonici, aired from 1999 to 2009. Holy, it was a decade! By finishing off with a TV movie, the characters of Ed, Ed, and Eddie come up with schemes to get Jawbreakers, where the animation is very good, and the casting for the voice actors is done very well and fits somehow. Like for one of the Eds, the voice acting is all of the Eds are actually very goodly cast. Obviously, it's slapstick comedy with more physical humor. So obviously, punching, fight clouds, basically a bunch of violence. It's worth a watch if you're feeling basically sad, need something to cheer you up. Basically, if you want to laugh or trying to do a try not to laugh challenge, watch Ed and Eddie. And there's some sexual humor as well, obviously because it's humor. And somewhat mixing humor with a somewhat plot. Some of the plots make sense, some of the plots don't make sense. And it's very hard to do, but somehow they did it. And it's garnered a massive fandom. I'm not part of that fandom, if you want to know, but I know it's a very large fandom. And one of the most respected shows on Cartoon Network. And that's why it's part of the classics as well. So it's a good show. Like, all I remember is just that plank, that menacing plank that does nothing but just has a face and is just staring down. I always think about that plank, and that's it. Oh my god, this is just on to the next show. Dexter's Laboratory. Dexter's Laboratory was created by Jenny Tofkowski, aired from 1996 to 2003. The characters of Dee and Dexter were Dexter's a scientist and inventor who has a secret lab in his room. And that's the only pet peeve I have about the show. Why does he have a secret lab in his room? And the curiosity comes to his lab and ruins his experiments. And Moloch and Rostov, basically something Russian, trying to steal his inventions for evil, I guess. Also, Dee's and Dexter's parents do make appearance sometimes. If you look at the mom, like, woo! I don't know why I made that noise. Sorry. By combining comedy and sci-fi, which somehow works, because one of my favorite movies is Back to the Future, and then somehow uses a sci-fi setting and mixes comedy together. Same for Futurama as well, mixing comedy and sci-fi together to make it a massive blend of like showing story but also having comedy. It's the best of both worlds. Because like using the set piece of sci-fi is very limiting, because like, oh, we can just have these lots of tropes. Obviously I'm gonna repeat myself. Good voice acting is good, Dexter's is very good, DD's is very good, all the voice acting is top notch, animation is good, it still holds up. Basically that's pretty it. Like, I'm just basically briefly talking about like animation is good, voice acting is good. On to the next show.
Flapjack! Hey, Flapjack! Come with me, we'll go and see a place called Candid Island!
Who needs Candid Island? It's safer at the docks.
But there ain't no streams of sody pop to go trickling down the rocks.
It's dangerous and risky.
But adventurous and free!
Adventure, that's the life for me.
There's lollipop trees and a lemonade sea!
Doesn't sound very good to me.
The misadventures of
Flapjack!
Next is Flapjack, the marvelous misadventures of Flapjack. Philip Van Orman is created by Philip Van Orman, aired from 2008 to 2010. It lasted only 2 years. That's why most of these shows will be underground, because they only, not underground, but like somewhat underrated, because they only last around like 2 or 3 years and they just like stopped airing. While most of these long form shows, like for 10 years, like Ed and Eddie, have like lasted for 10 years, because they had over 10 years of fans. So like, yeah. The characters of Flapjack and Captain Knuckles and Bubby the whale trying to go to Candyland but remain at the dock to get more candy, which is a form of currency for them, but real money exists. Literally in the first episode, this is kind of spoilers, Flapjack becomes a businessman because Captain Knuckles sort of offers him as a bribe, or as an offer for winning the game. Basically, yeah. And basically, it's so when I was looking at the Wikipedia, it says it's a dystopian setting, which I can see. It's like very crime, other stuff, and also dark comedy. It has a lot of dark comedy. I think in the second episode, literally, there's dark comedy. And this is a fun fact: Quintel, or J.T. Quintel, was the creative director on it. So if you're watching Flapjack, you will see his name in like the main title. That's a fun fact. What do you know? And he worked on this before regular show. So yeah, he worked on Cartoon Network for a while. That's why it feels sort of like regular show humor, because, but more darker, because like he has more freedom to do darker jokes compared to regular show where he has to keep them lighthearted, and cut some jokes for time, and some other stuff. Basically racing and stuff. So on to the next show.
Dear Professor Mashimo, how's your latest invention? I just know he's gonna be awesome. Your biggest fan, Tommy Turnbull.
Dear Tony, he has surpassed all expectations, but I fear he may fall into the wrong hands. So I'm sending him somewhere safe. Somewhere perhaps he can learn to be a true boy. True Robot Boy.
Next is Robot Boy. Robot Boy was created by Jan van Berg. I can't. Some of the last names can't speak. And from 2005 to 2008, where Professor Machinimo creates a robot in 3 stages of a doll, boy, and mech. But the professor realizes that this might get into the wrong hands and assigns Robot Boy to a 10-year-old boy known as Tommy Turnbull and his friends Lola and August. It gets Dr. Kamazaki trying to get him. It feels like an anime, but not anime. Basically, that debate of Avatar: The Last Airbender, if it's an anime or cartoon, basically that. Due to the Sailor Moon, due to the animation of Robot Boy's transformations. So basically, Robot Boy is a robot, so he works in 3 stages. The first stage is which is literally a doll where I think he's deactivated or turned off. The second stage, which is just his normal boy form, where he can just do stuff, he can communicate, he can do other stuff. And the third stage, which is his Iron Man powering up mecha transformation, where he transforms into an Iron Man looking thing. Because the face looks like Iron Man, that's why I said it. And basically, when he senses danger or threat level to Tommy, basically he turns into this mode. When he feels that there is danger against Tommy and his friends. And they honestly feel like Sailor Moon transformations, because it's just like it goes like grey, not grey black, then red, then he turns bigger, then he adds his attachments of his weapons and stuff. That's pretty cool. I think that's why I like Transformers, because I felt similar to Transformers around the time. So facing off Dr. Kizami, facing off robots that Dr. Kizami throws at the group. So basically, each episode you would try to get Robot Boy, or somehow you cause danger to get Robot Boy in his grasp. And has a mixture of action and also Robot Boy learning about life, how like what a dog is, the importance of a dog, or like basically a robot learning. It reminds me of Jenny the Teenage Robot, or what's that other robot show? I can't remember. Well, roughly around like a robot learning. While he fights robots, the show is actually so good but so underrated. I think not that many people know about the show. Only a select few, because it only lasted 3 years. Only lasted 2 seasons. So yeah, it had like a very, it feels like very underrated. Only like select few people know about this show. So yeah, on to the next show.
Long ago in a distant land, I, Aku, the shape-shifting master of darkness, unleashed an unspeakable evil. But a foolish samurai warrior wielding a magic sword stepped forth to oppose me. Before the final blow was struck, I tore open a portal in time and flung him into the future, where my evil is law. Now the fool seeks to return to the past and undo the future that is Aku.
Next is Samuraijack. Samuraijack was created by Jenny Tavelsky again, where he worked after Dexterslaboratory, which aired from 2001 to 2003, then eventually finished the season in 2017 after over a decade. The character of Aku, a demon lord conquering Japan, where the Japanese people forge a mystical sword to kill him, where they train the samurai warriors to face Aku, and one of these is Jack, who faces off with Aku, but his final breath, Aku sends Jack to the future, and Jack has to go back to the past while facing the dystopian future. The music is good and action as well, and I'm happy to say that it concluded after 10 years of people waiting for a proper conclusion until like a cliffhanger ending, and they finally finished it. It's such a good release. Like, it's one of the most popular shows because I think after literally over a decade or more, after like 15 years, they sort of revived it and like have the final season. So yeah, it's honestly a good show. I like how like Jenny experiments with different styles. He did sci-fi comedy, then he did dystopian samurai. Like, what more do you need? So obviously, onto the next show.
Sisters like to use a wild experiment. Check out a day in the life of Johnny Test. He's got a super talking dog, he takes every place. He likes a cup of Joe and has a monthly face.
Next is Johnny Test. Johnny Test was created by Scott Fellows from 2005 to 2013, where Johnny, the brother of his twin sisters, who are 13, and do sex experiments on Johnny, an 11-year-old. I'm basically specifying those ages because that's just messed up with his dog Yuki, which can speak. It feels like Dennis the Menace, but American. I'm gonna make a funny idea where Johnny is experimented on, but uses it for mischief, where even the government of Area 51.1, yes, that's actual plot point, to get involved in the case of Johnny Test. So basically, Johnny Test does a lot of mischievous things in his town of Pork Belly. No joke, that's actually the town name. And it gets suspicious. Johnny, what are you doing? And that's where the meme, like the Malaysia meme, comes from. If you want to know, the intro is actually very good. Like I don't know why. I remember the intro because it's so weird and unique. So the animation, so is the animation, but the pacing is like the true rapid fire, quick, go. Because I think there's a fit so much jokes and story into one like 11-minute episode that like just like pacing is so quick. So like yeah, that's why it feels so. The pacing is so quick and hard to keep up. Like oh my god, it's so hard. The plot is basically whatever it needs to be. The first episode is basically more people stealing stuff, so Johnny has to get stuff back, and because he took his dad's camera, which he wasn't supposed to, and they take it, so Johnny has to take it back. Yep, that's what it means. Facing also enemies, because I think the intro shows more of like the enemies, like oh, yeah. And people might know show from the meme of like the whip crack sounds like they're noxious. I'm gonna play a clip.
Oh, I love gum. Gum. Stop chewing gum. Nothing good comes from chewing gum, Johnny. Just sticky bubbles and tooth decay. And the problem is? Your problem. Because when you have cavities and your teeth fall out, don't come crying to me. Huh?
Right now. Go have your system? Yeah. Basically, I don't know why I laughed at that. Like, when I was looking at the editing and recording, it's just, why? Why? It's not funny. It's not funny. It basically feels like a meme, because most of the stuff in the show is a meme. Like, the Malaysia, which I specifically said as well, and the whip crack sound effects. It just feels like a massive meme. And the comedy due to the jokes, literally like landing like SpongeBob, where some of the jokes in SpongeBob also made it into memes. So yeah, on to the next show.
1, 2, 3, go!
On to another Johnny. Johnny Bravo was created by Van Positive, where Johnny Bravo is a stereotype of a man in the 1990s all the way earlier, where Johnny sees himself as a womanizer from the inspiration of Elvis and a narcissist, and doesn't treat women respectfully and gets punished for it. Basically, when he tries to interact with a woman, he gets beaten up or gets assaulted. That's basically the joke. That's the whole joke of Johnny Bravo. He's a man, but he tries to get with a girl, but the girl hates it, and he gets beaten up for it. When men, everyone wins. And that's literally the most point of each episode. Finds a woman, tries to womanize the woman. Why do I say woman so many times? And it fails. I'm literally going to sound like a record as well. Animation is good, music is good. There's nothing, because these are the classic shows on Cartoon Network, so obviously they're going to be good animation and good music, obviously. But I'm not sure like how this is going to fly in modern times due to literally people being sensitive. If you post anything controversial on Twitter, and I mean anything, you're going to get like, cancel them. Like, so I think this won't apply because of like the whole feminism movement, like women's rights and stuff. Like, it's just mind-boggling how like from a show from which aired from 1997 to 2004. So like this might, because people are more sensitive and focus on more small issues, or suddenly online, so they get more sensitive about these shows. So yeah, this is just like a weird thing I want to talk about. On to literally the final show I'm going to talk about in this video.
Started when an alien device did what it did and stuck itself upon his wrist with secrets that it hid. Now he's got superpowers, he's no ordinary kid, he's Ben 10.
Finally, my favourite show, which I grew up with, I remember some of the elements of the show. The reboot, I'm talking about Ben 10. Ben 10 was created by a mind invention about a 10-year-old kid known as Ben Tennyson, where an alien device did what it did and stuck upon itself with stuck upon its wrist with the secrets that it did. It gave him superpowers. He's no ordinary kid. He's Ben 10. He is Ben 10. That's like from the short excerpt of the intro. I said it so badly. The intros are actually very good, very well produced. I just listened to them like a bunch because they're actually very well made. Where this is an alien device known as the Omnitrix sent to Earth to keep the hands of an intergalactic warlord known as Thorgax. Ben discovers it on a summer vacation with his cousin Gwen and his grandpa Max to master his Omnitrix of his 10 aliens within to fight evil and save the universe. Aliens of Heat Blast, Wildmutt, Forearms, Grey Matter, Accelerate, Upgrade, Diamond Head, Ripjaws, Stinkfly, and Ghost Freak. In the classic season, throughout the season, Ben would get new aliens to help him out. Basically, he unlocks a new alien every season, or gets a combination of new aliens per season or per different arcs, if you want to say. Which evolves to a sequel series known as Alien Force, Ultimate Alien, where Ben is a teenager and fights new villains, aliens, and gets new ones to use. And in later seasons, they use multiverses and time travel to lead to Omniverse, with more aliens, more Ben, and more world building. And it aired from 2005 to 2014. Then Cartoon Network decided to reboot it in 2016. And I am a bit decisive on the reboot, but I can see what they wanted to do something different with Ben 10. I can appreciate that, and I hold the series to my heart. Feels like the reboot is for a Ben 10 for a new generation, while the classic Ben 10 up to Omniverse, that's like the old fans like myself who grew up with the series. So yeah, Ben 10 holds great things in my heart. So on to the conclusion. In conclusion, all these shows are part of your childhood. I'm actually very curious to hear the discussion in the comments if you got this far into the video. Because I want to see what other shows you watched as a kid on Cartoon Network or any show. Because obviously I missed some shows as well. Because like some shows like OKKO, I never knew. I think I vaguely knew what it was, but I only started watching it recently. Like it was actually very good. I want to make a separate video on like OKKO and another one as well, which is called Monkey King, which is similar vein as Ninjago, but it's all animation. There's no Lego inside, no weird Ninjago models. So I want to do separate videos on those because they are interesting. I want to talk about them. And obviously, what I said at the start, what I said at the start, most of these will be a proper review or retrospective possibly the regular show, Adventure Time, Robot Boy, which I will cover, and possibly Ben 10 because I have so much attachment to those 4. I want to show them justice. If you don't know any of these shows and introduce them, good job. Check them out. They're, like, the internet is a glorious thing, and you can just watch them. You'll find out how to watch them. There are a bunch of websites where you can just watch them. I don't encourage piracy, by the way, so do not pirate. I do not condone piracy. Piracy is bad. And basically, just wanted to talk about old cartoons. Basically, I felt nostalgic. I feel like I'm growing older and older, and I feel like I would never experience them really again. I'm like worried about the new generation. Basically, like never experiencing cartoons, but YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and not experiencing these old cartoons. These are not old by many means. Most of these are from the late 90s and the early 2000s. Only 2 of them are literally new, which basically Adventure Time and Regular Show, which came out in 2010. So yeah, so they're not old, but they're like a decade old. So like, so I wanted to show express my love for these shows. Obviously, most of these will be fully in depth in the future when I have time, or when I feel like it. Ben 10 will take a long time. Regular Show and Adventure Time also will take a long time. Robot Boy won't be that bad because there's only 2 seasons. Episodes are short, so it won't take that long. So there might be a sequel to this, which is like covering British TV shows on like the British equivalent, which was CBBC, which had like drama, cartoons, and other stuff. So yeah, I might do, or I'll do a sequel to this where I cover different Cartoon Network shows. Basically, comment down in the comments what shows did I miss, what shows do you want me to talk about. That was it. However, this is a short video essay. It's like half an hour, which is technically still short, because I want to do like more of the short form content instead of working on the big like nearly 3 hour long reviews or 2 hour long reviews, which was like Hello Boss and like I said in the cover. I'm working on these bigger reviews like RE4, the original. I'm working on a review on that. I'm still working on the scripts. I'm like I think a quarter halfway through, and Transformers 2007 as well. I'm like roughly halfway through and a quarter of it. Like so, they are both at the same time. So I will try to work on them as much as I can. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe for more content like this. I do these pseudo video essays from time to time. Also do gameplay or specific games from time to time. Uploads are a bit slow in May because I feel like I'm less passionate or forgetful. I'm forgetful with stuff. I'm also like a bit like tired. I'm not burnt out, by the way. I just feel like I'm less motivated in May for some reason. I don't know why. So yeah, like and subscribe for more content like this. Basically, yeah. See you in the next video. Bye.